Bitcoin versus the dollar symbol BTC, and we have a nice little setup going on. Bitcoin reclaiming the yellow 21 on the daily, which is typically a good sign. Daily jewel has lost its downside curvature and in a bouncy region. We do not have an upside signal just yet on this, and it is not supported by DMI to give it a little bit of counterweight right there. But we do have multiple drives of hidden bullish divergence come off the current low, and we do see that volatility is actually starting to rise above 50 percentile. In fact, on CME, it's actually rising from an incredibly low level. And keep in mind that this whole scenario, this whole correction thus far came on declining volatility. So that is actually a good sign for the boo laws off of this current local low. So again, until Bitcoin technically does clear back above about 49,000 bucks on a daily delta closure, I do look at this as potentially a lower high in the making. And if we do have a lower high in the making, anywhere below 49,000 bucks, then that would be your confirmation of daily reversal, and I'd probably be getting ready for a much lower price action. But for right now, I do believe that the not the boo law, but the bear trap scenario is still very much alive and still very much well. Again, to be confirmed with any sort of a daily closure above 49,000 bucks. If that happens, I would be looking for just general continuation of prior highs of this current rally at about 53,000 bucks, and probably probably prior all-time highs over the next few weeks if that were to happen. But for right now, things are looking decent. Momentum oscillators over here, like daily Stokes, are going to be freshly crossing up with any sort of a closure of 45,350. CME is about the same as well, 46,350 actually. And if we do go down to the short-term timeframes, we can see that 4-hour is nice and healthily up on a spot price action at 46,250 is the magical number. And actually CME a little bit higher than that, 46,750 right there. 12-hour will also be freshly crossing up on CME and will be remaining to the upside as long as about 45,200. So let's come up with an invalidation point to the downside right here. And I would say it's actually very simply put right at the 200 exponential average, which is 46, basically 500 or so. So as long as Bitcoin's closing 4 hours above there, I do look at this as essentially a bait and switch of the 4-hour potential death cross. This was a great signal that we spoke about coming in over the past 2 to 3 days, of which we got exactly what I was looking for in this case. And so with that in mind, a little bit of short-term sideways within this region is completely fine. The next obvious short-term resistance, whoops, wrong chart. The next short-term resistance obviously is coming in right around about 47,500. If Bitcoin can start to close 4-hour deltas above there, it would not just clear the 200 exponential average, it would also clear the range highs and the 382 Fibonacci retracement right here. And at that point, I would be looking for a move somewhere between about the 0.5 and in the 618 at the very least, which is between about 48.5 to 49.5, something like right around there. And then of course, if the daily starts to close above 49,000 bucks, that's at the point where I start to really look at this as, okay, the bear trap scenario is confirmed. Again, I put a couple of videos out on this last week and over the weekend in the long-term analysis playlist, which you can check out at any moment in time. And I'd be looking for this to kind of generally float onwards and upwards. And if we do show any sort of weakness within this region, that would be the next sort of major red flag in price action. But for right now, and for what it's worth, it also should be known that I believe today on, no, not on CME, although actually it will happen on CME as well, but both today on CME and spot price action do have potential hidden bullish evidence to be confirmed as soon as today's daily total closure at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. If Bitcoin does close above on CME, that would be above about 47,000 bucks. Or sorry, on spot price action 47, and I imagine CME the same as well. And if that happens, yeah, I'd be looking for that move to 49,500 first, and then judge the next set of areas after they do get hit. But for right now, this is decent, and after a bit of a short-term sideways, I would be looking for another try to the upside. Again, invalidation very obviously below about 46,500. If that area does get taken out to the downside, specifically on a 4-hour delta closure, I would be looking for this rally to fall back down to low 45,000 bucks, and then we get to play the game of does Bitcoin want to bounce again or not. But for right now, looking okay here, and dare I say, it might even look good. I'd like to come back to it perhaps I guess later today, perhaps maybe tomorrow, and then we should have some more clarity on the situation. But for right now, pretty damn good. And again, be aware of the invalidation, but overall, the setup is there, and the higher term time frame is really going to be showing the way on this one. So hopefully that was helpful. And of course, should also end with this on the 5-day right here. Nice little setup. Again, as long as we're bouncing around the 21, that's completely fine. So there was one last thing perhaps that I did forget, but it's gonna skip my mind for right now. Anyways, with that said, as long as we're above the 55, especially on a daily, it is still technically to be considered a correction. But fair enough. Hopefully that was helpful. And there you go on Bitcoin. Not bad.